Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do, now that everything is set up right here, is we are going to create an asset list. So go ahead and open your reference folder. So I'm going to open this in a new window, and I'm going to already kind of close this because I don't need this. So the ones that we're going to use is basically 7. So I'm going to go ahead and open 7. It opened on the other screen, so I'm going to put this one here. I basically just compile this. If you know how to use Photoshop, you can just compile all the image in there, but I like to kind of like just open them and put them everywhere in here. And that's basically what I'm going to do. So 15. Okay, so I'm going to put this one here. 16. Put that in here. What else? 17. In here. 8. Somewhere in here. And then 10. So I'm going to minimize this, put this one here, and go to my notes and open my Swamp asset list because we are going to start listing everything that we are going to model. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is, you guessed it, we are going to kitbash this. Take every single thing that we love about this reference and just list everything that we want to model. So we're going to set it up just like the last time. Our level right here, and we have our VFX right here. These are mainly just consisting of actual models that we're going to model, ideas, whatnot, stuff like that. It's just to get a general idea of what we're actually doing. So it's going to be set up just like this. If you're new, we have our level. All of our models are under that. We have our VFX. All of our particle systems are under that. And lighting. We don't need to actually put that in the asset list because we can just do that on Unity, okay? Alright, so what we're going to do is basically list our models. As you can tell, our swamp scene is already made. This is the first scene that I've created that I'm going to recreate, but kind of differently. We're going to model a few things here. We're going to take little things here, trees, circular pillars and whatnot, but at the same time, we're going to make this thing glow. Just like the thing that you see right here. We can do something like that. So the first thing that I'm going to put here on the level, keep in mind you can do whatever you want. List anything that you want to model. Just use me as reference and guide. I know I keep repeating that, but don't perfectly copy what I'm doing. You're not going to learn anything if you keep playing safe. You have to explore and do things on your own, okay? So I want something like a pillar, but a circular one. So pillar, circle, and I want 4 variations of it. So meaning 4 types of it, 4 pieces. And I got that idea from the scene right here. So this pillar that you see right here, that's a circular pillar. And also you can find that on the images right here. As you can see, there's like a circular castle looking thing. Even this kind of floating thing right here is kind of circular. So I found this on the scene. But I can also put here, it's somewhere over reference number 17 and reference number 7. This is the point of numbering this reference so that we can just put numbers here and we know exactly where it came from, okay? So next thing that we want is maybe a torch again, but like a different type. As you may or may not know, when I do things like this, it's basically just a baseline. Mostly when I model, I add new things. I don't model other things. It's just depending on how the scene is coming together. So maybe I'm gonna put here maybe or maybe not in terms of if I want to model this or not. And I want a different kind. On the beginner's course we have a torch, but it's kind of like flat on the top. It's kind of like squarish. Maybe this time we can make something like a circular one, on the top, just like this one. Something like very circular right there on the top. And it goes down, not like the one that we did on the beginner course, which is something like this. Either way, we can even make like an orb. It's like a staff thing. That would be cool to do. So maybe a staff, torch, or a staff. Just generating random ideas, and the idea was basically found on reference number 17. And as you can see, it's not even on our thing right here. Those are flats. It just depends on my mood, on whatever I want to model. I hope you're following into this and it's not too confusing for you. And what else? We can do something like a circle shaped thin rock. And that's mainly on the scene right here. This rocks that you see right here, this flat looking ones. Actually, this is a pillar. I just kind of like scale this. For the people that are coming from the beginner's course, you've modeled this before. You can basically just scale them and you're still gonna be fine. But if you want to make flat ones like this one, that's fine too. And those have different shapes. We can even make circle ones. So I'm gonna put here circle or any N-gon shaped thin rock. This is going to be for like the bottom part. I want maybe around 5 variations. And I found the idea on the scene. If you see that I don't put the variation like on this one, that means I only want one of those. But if you want to create more of those, just put any variation you want. Okay, so of course we are going to make a tree. Something different so that we're not creating rocks all the time, because that's too easy. I'm going to teach you guys how to actually make a tree and sculpt it and just make it very easily. Just like this one, but very low poly, so it's not too crazy and it's optimized and you can use it on mobile. So something like this, and I found that on reference number 10, and you can even see that right here on our scene 2 trees right here, and this one too. Okay, so put here on the scene because it's right there too. And I want maybe around 2 variations. Okay, next thing that we're going to model is, as you can see, this things right here. I don't want to create just a simple rock like this. This is so easy to make. Like super freaking easy, you have no idea. It's so easy. And it's too easy for this course, so we're gonna complex things out and make something like this, and even make those emissive things right there. There's 2 ways of making that, and we're gonna get into that on the modeling part of this course. So maybe I can name this an ancient portal rock. I'm just making up names. This is the same name that I'm going to put on the mesh when we start modeling this in Maya. If you look back here, as you can see, this things here has name. And I'm using basically the same names that I've put on the asset list, and I'm naming my mesh like that. Okay, so ancient portal rock, we can create about, let's see, 4 variation. You can just rotate those and make it look completely different. And I found it on reference number 15. It's also in reference number 10. And we can create something of those small looking things right there. So mini ancient. Okay, so mini ancient portal rock. And maybe we can create for variation 2 and 15. It's on reference number 15 and number 10. I'm talking about this small rocks right here. I might change my mind later on and just decide to kind of like scale these things right here. And there's no problem really of doing that. And what we can model next is stairs again. So on our last portal scene, we made elongated ones, like really simplistic basic ones. But as you can see in this portal right here, it's kind of like rounded and kind of more stylized, and we can do something like that. It's very, very simple to model. So stairs on reference number 15 and reference number 10. Okay. And make it round, of course. I'm gonna keep this as a note to myself because sometimes I forgot what I want to do when I get ideas. And I want maybe, let's see. We can make about 5 variations. Wait, no, we can just rotate that and make it really look different. So maybe 4 is enough. Okay. Alright, so next thing that we're going to do is I want to create a different type of foliage. So on the beginner's course, we made like a simple grass and a simple kind of I don't know what it's called, but it's a type of grass. It's like, it's circle right here, and if you blow, all the flowers go away. But we made something like a squarey top right here and it glows. Maybe this time we can create something of like this. Wait, this looks like a rock. Maybe we can turn it into a mushroom, like a glowing mushroom. Maybe something simple like that. And it has like rocks on them and it's glowing. And that's gonna look pretty. It looks pretty on my vision, but I'm not really sure if you can see my vision yet. Maybe later on as we model this, but feel free to add anything that you want to model. So, a mushroom glowies. Mushroom glowies. Mushroom. And I want to make maybe 3 of them. And something of the color, the same color as 15 and what's this? 8. Reference number 8. Okay. So next one is VFX. I'm gonna move on now to the VFX area. We can create, of course, something like a different type of firefly, as you can see here on the scene. If I play this, we have those, I'm just gonna minimize this. We have those fireflies like in here, somewhere in here. And we can create something like that too, and we can make it different. Like spirits traveling or some stuff like that. So this looks really weird, like this old project that I have right now. As you can see, everything is kind of like jaggedy. That's because this is very old and the post-processing profiles are missing. As you can see, they're not even in there anymore. Like the script associated with it is missing. So this is the old one. I'm just upgrading this. And other stuff are missing on it because when I updated my Unity and I re-import this, it just blew up, kind of like crashed. I know how to fix it, but I'm just going to create a new upgraded version instead of fixing that. Not that it's hard fixing, it's very easy. I can just import the post-processing stack again and set up the profiles manually, like at the very beginning, and just kind of build it up again. Okay, so back to VFX. Let's create a firefly, like those little tiny fireflies things that glows and goes away. That looks really pretty, and we can add like a force on them. We can even attach them into our mouse. So as we move our mouse like that, it follows. That could be a good idea. So fireflies maybe coming from below or attached to the mouse. And of course, we're going to create a new texture. I just put this here to remind myself that I need to create a new texture for this. And what we can do next is, you see this portal right here? Like, pay attention to this thing right here in the middle. As you can see, it's like looking through another world. We can do something like that. So maybe something like a parallel universe type portal. Word this however you want, guys. I word this the way I want because it sticks more in my brain this way. So that's on reference number 17. More description, it's looking into a different world. Maybe I should name this parallel universe portal differently. What's a good name for VFX? Maybe I'll just name it parallel. Yeah, that's just fine. So I'm just gonna leave that like that. I'm going to create another one, maybe a, what's a good thing to do? So I'm gonna go back here. So since we've already created this on the beginner's course, we can't actually create another one of that in here because it's going to be kind of redundant because we've already done that. So we can create something like a fireball, like a flowing fireball. I don't know if you can get the idea by me drawing in there. I'm just going to show you. There's an anime called Soul Eater. I'm very interested the way the souls are created. So something like this, we're going to make it like flowy. Like the tops right here that you see, this top things here that you see, is going to be something like this. So it's more kind of like good looking and maybe a little bit mid-realistic or so. And we're going to have kind of like different, kind of like loose glowing particles in there, and it's going to be under this shape right there. Okay? So I could call that a ghost ball. A ghost ball. Why do I name things like this? And it's on Soul Eater. Why do I keep spelling it soul? Soul Eater. Reference. Google, please. Okay, so don't forget them. And also I'm gonna add another thing to model in here, because I'm going to create the shape of that ghost ball and I'm going to put the particles inside of it. So maybe I can put it a ghost ball particle shape holder. So that's just a reminder for me to model something of the sort, same shape. And don't forget to save this at this point in case your computer crash or something like that. Because here in Quebec, someone always accidentally turned off the power switch. My roommate randomly does that and everything turns off. And sometimes my projects aren't even saved. So that's bad. So it's a good habit to keep saving everything. Alright, so that's save. So what else can we do? Maybe we can add something like this on the side of the portal. Like a glowing kind of guardian on each side of the portal. And we can make them glow like this as a whole. At least that's my idea. I'm still not quite sure if I'm going to make the portal around this shape. Like, we will see later on. Because I don't want to completely copy this, because I might get copyright, and at the same time, I want to do it the way I want. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of ideas here and make it work. But at least I have an idea of what I'm doing. That's the most important thing. As long as you have a vision, make it work. And it's going to work. Okay, so I'm gonna add a glowy human on each side. I purposely spelled that like that. Glowy human. Okay. I don't have a name for that yet because I'm not really sure yet, but I'll find something out as we model this and make this. And I'm gonna put a note here. We will add more as we go. There we go. So I'm basically done with the asset list right now. I'm gonna leave that like that and I'm going to save that right here. And we are going to add more as we go if we get ideas while modeling and stuff like that. This is our baseline right here. And I hope that your baseline is set too. I hope that you've put different models here depending on whatever you want to model. Just want you guys to challenge yourself and not completely copy me. Because that's the point of learning. I have to get you guys out there and figure it out yourself. But I'm not gonna let you go off blind. I'm just putting a baseline so at least you could follow that and guide you around, you know? So I'm gonna end this video right here. Your reference is right there, your asset list is set. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to start modeling. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next video. Bye!